there's one thing we know, it's to never stop asking questions, because that's what drives us to create impact.
I often ask myself whether my work truly matters or if it makes any real impact. And I realized through my SMU X modules, where I had to engage with stakeholders and present projects, that ultimately it does. So while most of the projects that we do are for the grades, it was those beyond the classroom that made me realize that our work can have a real impact.
So the most impactful question I've asked came during my first internship. I asked the lawyer, why work so hard? He said that law is a service industry. You provide for others, and trust is the most important thing to build.
I once asked, are we choosing the safest idea or the boldest one? That question made me realize how often I defaulted to playing it safe.
During my audit internship at KPMG, I worked on tasks like vouching and tracing transactions to supporting documents. Seeing how each check contributes to ensuring the reliability of financial statements made the work feel more meaningful. That was when I understood that what we learn in class is actually applied in real-world situations.
One experience that comes to mind is Project Heartcode, in which we worked with secondary school students from underprivileged backgrounds supported by CDAC. And we taught them basic web development, so from coding to building simple websites. It was really meaningful to connect with them and encourage them to try out new technologies, and it made me reflect on my own journey.
There's this warm feeling of belonging that never really goes away. I remember when I first entered SMU, I remember thinking, this place is different. It was interactive, you had to speak up, you had to think, and not just memorize. So that culture shaped me. So staying connected isn't just about nostalgia, it's about staying close to a place that saw something in me even before I saw something in myself.
It's about exchanging ideas, supporting one another, and having the space to turn what we've learned into something meaningful that reaches beyond ourselves.
What stands out to me is just how accessible the network is. I'm often just a few connections away from a meaningful conversation with someone experienced.
Being adaptable, that's one thing that I'm constantly learning. And of course, as we know, the world is changing so fast. When I graduated, AI wasn't even a thing, and now every conversation includes AI.
I believe that post-graduation growth will come from finding some sort of a balance. Graduation will bring new routines, and SMU has prepared me to maintain that energy and purpose, not just for myself, but so I can make a meaningful impact on those around me.
I want to keep learning how to better understand different people and perspectives. I want to continue improving how I listen, communicate, and adapt to different situations.
SMU instilled in me a curiosity about how the world works, what drives it, and how different forces shape outcomes. I hope to carry this forward by continuing to question, learn, and make thoughtful decisions that shape better outcomes over time.
As you're looking to graduate, what does happiness look like for you when it comes to work?
What's your why? Why do you do what you do?
With all of us stepping out into the workforce, how will you choose to stay connected and support the friends you've made during your time in SMU?
How would you find your edge?
Are you ready to use what you've learned to make a difference?
A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to the Yong House School of Law Commencement Ceremony 2026. We are gathered here today to celebrate the hard work and achievements of our students and to mark this significant milestone. So first, let's give all our students a well-deserved round of applause for all the hard work and effort that's brought us to this moment. Before we proceed, we kindly ask that all attendees maintain a respectful and considerate atmosphere throughout the ceremony. This is a significant milestone for our graduates, and we want to ensure that the event proceeds smoothly and with the dignity it deserves. If you have not already done so, please switch your phones to silent mode, and should you require the washroom, it is located outside the hall at the end of the hallway. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please rise to welcome our distinguished faculty members. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem. Please be seated. Let us now enjoy a short video montage prepared by our students, Benjamin Lim, Tiana Chong, and Bella Huang.
Well, I think the class will be known for being involved in a few record-setting seasons, both in terms of moot court as well as in ADR competitions. Last season, I think was particularly memorable because we won a record number of championship for moots. And in ADR competitions, as you can see on the second floor, we have many huge trophies, courtesy of the 2026 class.
I would really miss how the school really gives us a lot of avenue to make mistakes. I think that's something that you'll never get to do in the real world. So I think in the working world, I won't really get to do that. And I really appreciate how in university, the professors really allow us to have some fun while also taking some things seriously. I also miss the cohort because I think our cohort really has a lot of fun people. Every semester I get to meet a lot of new people, and I think I realized that law school is really a lot more vibrant in terms of characteristics and behaviors. Yeah.
I think one thing I'll miss about law school is the people that I've met here, whether it's the professors or the friends that I've made along the way. Being able to see my friends in school, and even when I was on exchange and going on different trips with them, that's something that I'll really miss.
One thing I'll miss is definitely the professors for sure. I think part of the pedagogy here of seminar rooms means that we always interact closely with profs. So I remember professors like Daniel Xia would ask me how my day was, same as Prof Vincent, and Prof Chen Suren also organizes a big lohe every Chinese New Year for the mooting batch. So I think these are memories that I'll definitely take away with me as well.
You know, I quite like law school, the professors, my friends, everybody. I think it's a really nice campus. I like Fort Canning Park. Sometimes you can go to the museum and have a look. And, you study, you have a chat with your friends. I think it's very nice.
I'm very proud of each and every person in the batch for growing through and showing up for each other for these 4 years. I don't think law school has been easy for any of us, and each of us has struggled in our own ways. But coming out of it, I see us as a batch that has really grown and strengthened. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the batch that has been a part of my journey, growing not only as a student, but also as a person. And in that regard, I think looking forward, I'm sure that the values and the camaraderie that this school has given us will carry us to accomplish great things in the future, come what may.
I think regardless of our sentiments about law school, it's been a long journey, and I think that we've all grown as people, and I think that it is now apposite to be thankful for everyone who has helped us get to where we are today, to our profs who has pushed us to be better students and better people, to always push for change, to each other, batchmates, our friends, who has been with us through the highs and the lows of law school, to our family, to our friends outside of law school. I think it's a momentous occasion, so I just want to say congratulations.
Congratulations to the class of 2026. It's been a pleasure seeing you in the library over the years. You fill this space with so much energy and life. We missed you and we wish you all the very best for what lies ahead.
The class of 2026. It has been a long and exhausting journey, and you have endured and reached the finishing line. Well done and heartiest congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate with your loved ones and close friends. And then pursue your dreams. I leave you with a short segment of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Any Dream Will Do. I close my eyes, pull back the curtain to see for certain what I thought I knew. Far, far away, someone was weeping, but the world was sleeping. Any dream will do. A crash of drums, a flash of light, my golden coat flew out of sight. Colors fading into darkness, I was left alone. May I return to the beginning. The light is dimming, and a dream is true. The world and I, we are still waiting, still hesitating. Any dream will do. Any dream will do. All the best.
Next, may we invite our Dean, Professor Lee Pei-Wong, to address the graduating batch. Properly, please.
Mr. Abraham Verghese, Senior Counsel, distinguished guests, families, friends, graduates, colleagues, welcome to Commencement 2026. The class of 2026 is special. You arrived at law school just as the world was emerging from the pandemic. Unlike some of your seniors, whose time in SMU was marked by lockdowns and restrictions, you had the privilege of experiencing the full campus life. You engaged in our signature SMU seminars, competed in moods, traveled the world on exchange, and immersed yourselves in your CCAs and community projects. Along the way, you forged friendships and surmounted challenges that helped shape you in a way that no virtual connection alone could ever have done. Excuse me. Now, sorry. Your individual journeys are unique, yet all of you can be very proud of what you have achieved. Getting into law school is itself a rare privilege, but completing it is another feat altogether. You have worked hard, withstood intense pressure, and overcome real hurdles to earn a seat here today. But you didn't arrive alone. Your journey has been possible only because your loved ones had placed your needs and your interests over and above their own. Many of them are here today to celebrate your achievements. So may I invite you to join me in a warm round of applause for your parents, your families, your friends, and everyone who has stood by you in the last few years. Thank you. Now, commencement is a time to look back with gratitude and a time to look forward with anticipation. What does the future hold as you depart from this hall? What dreams and aspirations will shape the choices you make? Are you just looking for a job that will sustain your comfortable lifestyle, or are you hungry for meaning, for purpose and legacy? My wish for you is that you will be hungry. Now, quite apart from being the first post-COVID cohort, the class of 2026 is also the first graduating class to have had generative AI almost right from the start of your SMU program. Today, AI is ubiquitous. For aspiring lawyers, those tools bring both challenges and anxieties. Many of you may have asked or heard your friends ask, will there still be jobs for lawyers in the future? How can I, as a young trainee, add value to powerful machines that process, organize, and even analyze oceans of information in mere seconds? These are real and legitimate concerns. Throughout history, every significant technological leap has altered and displaced old jobs, even as it created new ones. In SMU, we have sought to prepare you for precisely this kind of change by exposing you to real-world problems and by cultivating a mindset that embraces change, uncertainty, and growth. But the rise of AI presents a more profound challenge than the technological innovations of the past. And that's because it does not only challenge what we do, but who we are. Now let me invite you to reflect on how you have been using AI, for I believe that the way we engage with the tools reveals who we are. When faced with a task or an assignment, do we use the tool to expand and deepen our understanding, or are we content to take shortcuts, using AI merely to hand in an assignment? Has technology taught us to pursue expedience and productivity at the expense of deep, enduring growth in our intellect, our values, and our appreciation of the world around us? Now, the integration of AI into our lives is inevitable and irreversible. So the question that confronts us is this: do we allow this wave to push us along, or do we ride it with clear-eyed purpose and agency? I would suggest that the latter isn't a choice, it is an imperative. And to that end, we must hold on to three things: curiosity, integrity, and humanity. Curiosity is the root of all inventions and progress. The effortless prose that AI produces must not dull our capacity to observe, to inquire, to reflect, and to create. At the same time, we must practice integrity with vigilance. Machines do not distinguish good from evil. They are powerful tools in the hands of bad actors. So integrity has to be more than trite declarations of AI use and disclaimers. It has to be an honest and thoughtful commitment to doing what is right, both ethically and professionally. But integrity poses a deeper question, for what, after all, is good? A machine can weigh probabilities, but it cannot weigh values. It can generate options, but it does not care about its consequences. Ultimately, it is the human actor who will discern the decisions that will advance our collective well-being. Now, that ability to discern, to judge, is the essence of our humanity. It draws on our empathy, our conscience, and our lived understanding of what it means to suffer, to hope, and to be treated justly. As the future architects of this nation's legal system, you are entrusted with that responsibility, one that you must discharge, not merely with technical competence, but with wisdom, with conscience, and a deep and abiding humanity. Now, I will not pretend that the road ahead is easy. A recent study of our profession, the results of which were just discussed yesterday at the Legal Profession Symposium, reminds us that the practice of law can exact a heavy toll, demanding workloads, serious responsibilities, and, on occasion, unsupportive environments. These are real challenges that we must not gloss over. But beneath that challenge, there is nevertheless a message of hope, which is to remember that the profession we inherit is not set in stone. It is something that each generation is called to shape and to improve. And every one of you is entrusted with that agency. So I encourage you to enter the profession with courage and a strong sense of mission, a commitment to raising the profession to even greater heights. Now, beyond the pursuit of job security and a comfortable life, may you serve with purpose and distinction to secure a just and compassionate society for us all. My deepest wish for you then is this, that you will always be hungry for meaning, for purpose, for legacy. Congratulations, class of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean, for your encouraging words. Next, we are privileged to have Mr. Abraham Verghese, the Senior Counsel Managing Director of Providence Law Asia, for today's commencement ceremony. Mr. Verghese is an arbitration counsel and accredited arbitrator in international arbitrations across Asia. He holds fellowships with the Singapore Academy of Law and the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, UK. He is a direct benefactor of the law school as Mr. Verghese and his wife established the Jimmy and Susie Thomas Resilience Award, which provides financial assistance for eligible students. Providence Law Asia also directly supports and sponsors two notable prizes, the Providence Law Rising Advocate Award and the Providence Law Spirit of Mooting Award, which are part of the International Moods Program. Mr. Verghese has also been managing contentious work across Asia over the past 25 years and has worked in Singapore and London. He works closely with global law firms and leading lawyers from other jurisdictions. He is recognized as a leading dispute resolution lawyer and described as a true leader in Legal 500 and listed as one of the top litigators in Singapore by Chambers and Partners. Mr. Verghese established Providence Law Asia LLC in 2012 as a specialist counsel practice focusing on international disputes and leads a team of close to 20 counsel. Under his leadership, Providence Law Asia has attained multiple accolades, including being recognized as a leading firm in dispute resolution and restructuring and insolvency in Chambers Asia Pacific 2023, and as one of the top 100 restructuring and insolvency firms globally in the Global Restructuring Review's 2024 list. Providence Law was also named recommended firm in Benchmark Litigation Asia Pacific Guide 2025, leading firm in dispute resolution in Legal 500 Asia Pacific 2025, and Rising Law Firm of the Year in Legal 500 Southeast Asia Awards 2023. Mr. Verghese was named the Managing Partner of the Year at the ALB Southeast Asia Law Awards 2019, and in recognition of his public service, the Law Society of Singapore appointed him as its pro bono ambassador for 2021-2022 to champion the pro bono cause in Singapore. We now invite Mr. Verghese to the stage for his opening address. Mr. Verghese, please.
Dean Professor Lee Pei Woon, members of the faculty of the Yong School of Law, distinguished guests, proud parents, families, loved ones, and most of all, the graduating class of 2026. Let me begin by expressing my heartfelt thanks to Professor Lee for giving me the honor of addressing the graduates today. To the graduates, take a breath, look around you. You have made it as a class. You have survived all the late nights, the mountains of readings, the endless moods, conflicts of laws, and the invisible weight of expectations that you have carried in this last 4 years. You have every right to feel on top of the world. And more than the degree you received this afternoon, you are carrying out of this hall something far more valuable: the bonds of friendship forged in the trenches. In the decades to come, as you feel the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, these are the people who will understand you and stand by you. Cherish them. And do remember to thank your parents, your families, and every single person who carried you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, when I graduated in 1998, I vividly remember the late Justice G.P. Selvam taking me aside as a young lawyer, and with that trademark twinkle in his eye, saying to me, "Young man, unfortunately, your generation has missed the boat." What he meant was that the best years of practicing law in Singapore were firmly behind us. A bygone era where practice was easier, the pace more leisurely, and lawyers were rewarded handsomely for doing relatively less. I suspect he was right. My generation did work a lot harder than our predecessors, and it was more stressful. But then, when I consider the all-consuming demands of the legal profession in 2026, Justice Selvam's words might seem to ring even more true today. But I am not going to tell you that you have missed the boat. Because, in my view, 2026 offers law graduates an unprecedented range of opportunities and experiences that simply didn't exist in Singapore 30 years ago. The options available to young Singaporean lawyers today are likely to surpass anything that earlier generations could have imagined. Your commencement this year coincides with the 200th anniversary of the Second Charter of Justice, which first brought the common law to this island in 1826. In my opinion, the modern era of the Singapore legal system began just 35 years ago. In the early 1990s, under the visionary leadership of Chief Justice Yong whose name your school carries, Chief Justice Chan Sik Keong deepened our jurisprudence, while Chief Justice Sundaresh Menon placed this tiny island nation firmly on the global legal map. Take a moment to consider what has been built. As the proverb goes, we drink from wells we did not dig, and we are warmed by fires we did not build. We are the beneficiaries of 2 centuries worth of nation building. To be clear, the opportunities I am speaking of extend beyond the traditional roles of lawyers in private practice and the legal service. Some of you may decide not to pursue a legal career or to switch out after a few years of experience. That is a legitimate choice. The practice of law is not for everyone. Some may not wish to put themselves through the stress and strain of a relentlessly demanding profession. Others may simply have different priorities and aspirations. Today, as you contemplate what your future holds in these uncertain times, let me share with you 4 perspectives that I have gleaned over the years. First, whichever path you choose, one of the first questions you should ask yourself is, how may I serve? How can I be of use to this world? What are the unmet needs around me that requires my skills, my knowledge, and my abilities? If you can identify the real needs around you that are currently unmet and apply yourselves to fill that gap, you will not only have a job, you will have secured a successful and fulfilling career. Now, I have seen this play out at the bar and in business over and over again. Ordinary lawyers who provide reliable services at a fair price find themselves very busy, even in a crowded market, because reliability is often what is missing even in a full house of service providers. When clients find a lawyer they can trust, they will come back with 10 friends to refer. Always remember, you do not attract what you want. You attract who you are. By becoming a generous and useful person, you become the kind of person that other people want to work with, refer to, and stand alongside. Second, let me tell you about a young man who learned this the hard way. Gabriel Garcia Marquez was born in Colombia in 1927. From his teenage years, all he ever wanted to do was to write. His family had other ideas. His father was adamant that his son should become a lawyer. So in 1947, at the age of 19, the young Gabriel was enrolled to read law at the National University of Colombia in Bogota, and he hated it. Within 3 years, he had walked out, set out against his family's wishes, first to become a journalist and then to become a novelist. And in 1982, 35 years after he had left the law, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Garcia Marquez was never going to be a great lawyer because his gifts and his passions pointed elsewhere. Had he stayed at his desk in Bogota, he would have been a mediocre lawyer and worse, a lost writer. By leaving, he became himself. Ken Robinson, the celebrated British educationist, wrote a wonderful book on precisely this idea called The Element. He posited that people at the top of their game in any field of human endeavor are all, in his phrase, in their element. You are in your element when you're doing something that you're naturally good at, which also happens to be something that you are passionate about doing. So it pays to sit down quietly and to consider 2 questions honestly. What am I really good at? And what am I really passionate about? Try and find something you would love doing that also has you playing to your strengths. In other words, you will do well when you have a high degree of intrinsic motivation. You have to love what you do. Third, be nimble and ready to change and to seize opportunities as they come, and resist the temptation to draw up a 5 or 10-year plan. The world is moving too quickly for that now. Plans held too tightly have a way of blinding you to opportunities better than the ones you had originally mapped. I look back at my own 28 years, and I can tell you honestly, I have not once arrived at exactly the point I thought I was hitting. At the 14-year mark, I left big law to start my own independent practice so that I could practice the way I wanted. That was not the plan when I began. The turns that have mattered most in my career were the ones I did not see coming at the start. What I've found actually works is far simpler. To each of you, I would commend this. Do today's work the best you can. Do tomorrow's work the best you can. Keep your eyes open, and when the door opens that you did not know was there, be ready to walk through it. Fourth, and this is perhaps the most important thing I want to leave you with today. Find a sense of mission and a passion that is larger than your own success. Something that explains why you do the work, beyond the salary, beyond the titles, beyond the CV. And find your tribe. Find the people who share the mission and the passion with you, or at least who understand why it matters to you. And do not wait until you feel qualified to start. You are more qualified than you think. When I was just called to the bar, one of my seniors asked if I could volunteer a few hours to run a legal clinic. I was nervous, worried about being foisted on the unsuspecting public, and concerned that I would be dispensing wrong or at least inappropriate advice. The experience of meeting people from all walks of life, with all manner of legal concerns, was very shaping for me. It taught me, even as a young, inexperienced lawyer, that I could bring clarity, assurance, and relief to people who could not afford a lawyer. In my second year as an associate at a large law firm, one of the firm's staff asked if I could help her cousin, a man in his 30s with a low IQ, who had been charged for being a runner for a loan shark syndicate. I was probably the least qualified person in the firm to handle something like that. And I suspect the only reason I was approached was probably because I was more approachable than my seniors. I met the client whose mannerisms, despite being 30, was like that of a child. I wondered why anyone would think that he would fit the profile of a loan shark's henchman. So I wrote a letter of representation to the Attorney General's chambers to explain my client's mental disabilities and how he had been duped by his employer. To my utter surprise, the AGC accepted the representations and withdrew the charge. As I said, I really didn't do very much, and I wasn't exactly sure if I was doing the right thing. But I realized at that moment that the little I did was more than my client or his family could do for themselves, and that was enough to make all the difference. Those early exposure to pro bono work proved consequential. I began doing more as I grew older and became slightly more confident about my abilities. Helping people who cannot help themselves by applying what I have been trained to do has been a great source of satisfaction for me. It's the fuel that keeps me going when the days are tough and the nights are long. Many other lawyers will tell you the same. Live and work for a cause greater than yourselves. Class of 2026, you are graduating into a world of wicked problems and wondrous opportunities. You will find plenty of the former, but if you look carefully, you might find far more of the latter. Do not underestimate yourselves. You already have, right now, this afternoon, sitting in this hall, enough skill, knowledge, and training to do things that look like magic to the people you help. You are, all of you, potential for good. Never lose sight of that. Congratulations once again. Now, go out there and do the work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Verghese, for the inspiring words of wisdom for our graduates. Next, we would like to invite Mr. Verghese to the center of the stage for the presentation of award to the top LLB student. Mr. Verghese, please. We are proud to present the Pung SMU Yong Pung House School of Law Valedictorian Award to Xavier Wu Yu. Thank you, Mr. Verghese. May we please invite you to take your seat. Once again, a big congratulations to our award winner. At this time, may we invite the Associate Dean of Postgraduate Matters, Prof. Zhang, on stage for the presentation of the postgraduate degrees. Prof. Zhang, please.
Presenting to you the graduates from Master of Laws. Aishwarya Lakashmanan. Alessandro Caramonte. Tsai Siu Jing. Kasim Javier Kreitz Arin. Han Hin Fan Ben. Cheng Jing Yi. Cheryl Victoria Lee Si Hui. Chuang Shu Han Linda. Claudia Wan. Dang Yan Jun. Danelle J. Martinez Zerudo. Dash Satakam. Ing Liu Charlene Gwendolyn. Fu Yixuan. Pung Yok Chun Esther. Gu Li. Han Yi Chou. Hao Wenjia. Hu Lina. Huang Shihui Sophia. Huo Hongli. Jia Shixian. Juliana Hernandez Estupinan. Karen Yo Meng Kiao. Kevin Teo Che Shen. Hua Li Chen Clarice. Lei Queen Anh. Li Junqi. Leisha Benjamin Cruel. Leng Zheng Yan. Liang Yanxi. Lim Sin Yi Ines. Liu Hua. Mai Jolie Mirage. Maria Hossein. Marlia binti Mohammed. Mona Lisa. Monique Sophie Emile Zerwilger. Eng Jiahui Fiona. Eng Song Yang Joel. Omana Nair Suris. Rianti Bhattacharya. Sakshi Santos Singh. Samantha Tan Yang Ping. Sania Avahut Savan. Sarita Christine Amanda De Silva Migol. Si Jin Lee. Sarel Seman Nagaka. Simon Uwe Grimm. Sun Zhao Ti. Teo K. Lin. Var Suching. Verameni, son of Paner Saval. Vidya, daughter of K. Nagarajan. Wang Mansi. Wang Zihan. William Naftali. Xu Yue Xin. Yu Yuan Ong. Zhang Lin. Presenting to you the graduates from Juris Doctor. Aishwarya Parak Sarkade. C. Nantini. Chung Ka Heng. Danish Shadab. Fu Yi Yuan, Qi Yuan. G. Nishman Neth Nair. Han Zhi Lun. speaker. Muhammad bin Zulkarnain. New Hong Chan Jackson. Ong Xiao Hui. P. Dillon. Rachel Alyssa Abbey. Simran Kaur Sambi. So Lee Ching. Tan Mei Hui. Tan Shaw Eun Sean. Tan Shu Yi. Wang Xuanjing Joven. Un Jun Bao. Zhou Fei Fu.
Thank you, Prof. Zhang. May we invite you to return to your seat. Now it is time to present the LLB degrees to our graduating batch of 2026. May we invite our Dean back on stage to present the undergraduate degrees. Prof. Lee, please.
Presenting to you the graduates from Bachelor of Laws. Adele Ling Yan Ing. Adriana Ho Mei Yu. Aiman Tianhao bin Ikram. Alexander Elliot Eun Wei. Alexander Wilfred Chu Fu Chong. Alana Chong Song Yi. Elvira Glora Pandiman. Amanda Chin Ka Yi. Andre Ko Cho. Ang Chun Hyun Joshua. Anthea Lim An Tien. Ashley Tammy Sim. Or Ti Chen Shamin. Benjamin Bae Young Eun. Benjamin Lee Wei Nan. Banish Chu Jade Huet. Venice Lim Yun Yi. Venice Ng Si Hui. Venice Tan Yen Sin. Bethany Chu Le Qi. Bong Dick. Caleb Go Zhijie. Celeste Ong Yifei. Chang Kai-ning Gladys. Chang Nai-ling Natalie. Chong Kin Fai Jeremy. Chester Ong Zhengjie. Chiang Shi Xuan. Chloe Mark Wei Shan. Chua Kai Jie Kelvin. Chua Xuan Yi Grace. Clarissa Ng Ming Yi. Daniel Ko Chong Eun. Darius Ong Jun. Darren Ang Wei Chung. Dewey Sabrina Husnan. Duncan Pun Chu Kai. Dylan Kwang Wei An. Ian Tae Yi Eun. Yi Pei Ying Rega. Elisha Mark Tan Zhi Yong. Estelle Lau Yi Nin. Eden Tan Aik Ting. Eunice Chong Hui Sin. Evan Mok Yu Hei. Tan Keng Feng Prize for Jurisprudence. Faith Yong Wei Min. Gabriel Tay Kai Xuan. Gabriel Joy Chua Le Xuan. Galvin Sia Chong Kwang. Go Yi Xuan. Go Ki Hao Ryan, Clyde & Co Prize for the top student in Law of Insurance. Gui Wei Ing Venice, Bird & Bird ATMD Prize in Intellectual Property Law, joint winner. Han Shanru Evangeline. Han Yu Guang. Hannah Nadia Azizi. He Ziyu Tony. Heng Zhixin Stephanie, Drew and Napier Prize for Advocacy, finalists. Hong Kai-ning Megan. Hap Junjie. Isabel Tay Si Min. Jamie Ray Song, Ho Kwon Ping Circle Award. Jamie Clara Ang Jia Min. Janie Tan Pei Wen. Jaden Lua Ng Jun. Jerome Raphael Teo Su Chen, Ho Kwon Ping Circle Awards. Jonathan Su Yun Tao. Jonathan Teo Yue Yi. Joseph Vincent Lee. Jovan Ong Chun Xiang. Justinian Tan Jun Shuo. Kyrie Chen Zhixuan. Kathleen Sim. Kayla Elizabeth De Silvia. Keith Lo Zheng Pung. Corinne Lim Wen Sin. Kieran Lok Hoi In. Kim Ye Jin. Ko Kai Jun Trisha. Kao Ming Dylan Nanda. Kwek Wei Xuan Marcus. Kainan Lo Shi Kai. Lai Chi Yuan. Law Bing Feng Keith. A Hearst ADT Law Prize for Best Student in Commercial Conflict of Laws, joint winner. Lia Yo Zhen Wen. Li Hui Ching Cheryl. Asian Patent Attorneys Association Prize for Top Student in International Commercialization of Intellectual Property. Li Jie Ting. Li Ching An. Leah Ong Rui En. Lian Zi-en Fernanda. Lim Chia Ye. Lim Jun Feng Austin. Lim Ke Cheryl. Lim Kia Sun Cheryl. Lim Li Shan. Lim Si Chuan. Liu Jiaming. Percalis Trust Prize for the top student in Law of Equity and Trust, joint winner. Providence Law Spirit of Mooting Award, joint winner. Lo Yi Sun. Luk Jing Yi Valeska. Lo Kaiser. Chong Ik Wei and Susanna Lim Prize for Privacy and Data Protection Law. Du Yang Isaac. Clifford Chance Award for Law and Technology, joint winner. Lin Fang Jia. Lui Yang Leng. Lydia Lau Hyok Hui. Madeline Yap Ka Mun. Marcus Zhong Lang Xian Jie. Marcus Teo Yi Han. Megan Yo Wen. Mindy Fu Ziyi. Drew and Napier Prize for Advocacy, top student. Muhammad Sufyan bin Jafar. Muhammad Sazan bin Saad. Natasha Lim Shu En. Chen Siyuan Prize for Best Researcher in International Moods 2, joint winner. Joe Greenberg Top Advocate Prize for Top Oralist in International Moods 2, joint winner. Ng Jia Wei Vania. Ng Jing Yan Ian. Ng Zhi Yan Noreen. Nicole Yo Gek Bin. Nurul Iman binti Othman. Obat Clara Olivia. Ong Bin Jie Benjamin. Ong Yi Lin. Ong Wan Ing. Ong Sin Yen. Ong Yi Ting. Nicole Long Ling Yi. Un Sin Un Trina. Owen Hua Si Long, Chen Shiyuan Prize for Best Researcher in International Moods 2, joint winner. Pham Ngoc Diap. Feng Sherlin. Prabheka Krisha. Prakuminchai Sararaksh. Princess Gladia. Kwek Kwe An Arita. Rachel Smitha Perry. Joe Grimberg, top advocate for Best Student in International Moods 1, joint winner. Hua Gyok Chu, top law student award awarded by the Nian Kongsi. Ryan Xia. Ryan So Han Kit, double degree in Bachelor of Laws and Bachelor of Business Management. Sarah Caitlin Lim Ying Wei. Serena Lee Oh Shun Ning. Shanice Low. Tammy Sophie Ong Zi In. Tan Mei Bin. Tan Pei Ning Natalie. Tan Shu Yi Jillian. Tan T Lim. Tan Wei Lin. Tan E. Lucas. Pocalypse Trust Prize for the top student in Law of Equity and Trust, joint winner. Tan Zhijie Adam. Tang Wai Yong. Tanya Rai. Tay Ray T. Rachel. Teo Jie Xuan. Teo Wei Jun. Teo Yi Ting. 丢英者。天心和。To Kawun Angela. Trixie Wee Hui Si. Wee Cheryl. Wee Zhaohan Javier. Wong K. Sheng Jarrell. Wong Zi Yang. Xavier Ng Junjie. Yap Junwei Samuel. Yo Changzhen Jasper. Yo Li Chin. Yo Shan Lin. Yong Bei Swan Elena. Xavier Wu Yu, Kwek Hong Pung SMU Young Pung Hao School of Law Valedictorian Award. Joe Greenberg Top Advocate Prize for Top Oralist in International Moods 2 Joint Winner. Nick Chiam Prize for the Top Student in IT and the Law.
Thank you, Dean. May we invite you back to your seat. To all our LLM, JD, and LLB graduates, congratulations! We would now like to invite the Kwek Hong Pung SMU Yong Pung Hao School of Law valedictorian, Xavier Wu Yu, to give a speech. Xavier, please.
Good afternoon, Senior Counsel Mr. Abraham Verghese, Dean Lee, distinguished faculty, parents, loved ones, classmates, and friends. Thank you for joining us today on this special occasion. I am honored and humbled to speak on behalf of the class of 2026. Exactly 1,487 days ago, our class stepped foot into this auditorium for the first time at Law Camp, wide-eyed, eager, and ready to begin the next chapter of our lives. Since then, we have grown so much and come so far. As I prepared for today, I wondered how best to capture the spirit of our class, and I believe one line from the movie series Rocky came to mind. It goes like this: life is not about how hard you hit. It is about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Rocky may have been a boxing movie, but that line speaks to something deeply human. Every person in this auditorium has at some point been hit by something, be it a punishing submission schedule, a disappointing grade, or a personal struggle that no one else knew about. And yet, here we are graduating because in the face of life's hits, we found the strength, the courage, and the resolve to keep moving forward. So today, I would like to reflect on what moving forward meant for our class in three main parts. The first part of our story is what moving forward looked like in law school. Law school taught us that progress is rarely glamorous. At times, it meant mustering the courage to raise our hands in class, even when the answer seemed uncertain. On other days, it was reaching the last page of LawNet, hoping that one obscure case would unlock our research. And sometimes, it was simply reading the same paragraph over and over again, trying to figure out exactly what Lord Denning was trying to convey. Law school was never meant to be a breeze. But through every pressing deadline, every mind-bending doctrine, and every late-night study session, we picked ourselves up and kept moving forward. The second part of our story belongs to those who moved forward together with us, because none of us got here alone. To our families and loved ones, whether you are seated here today or watching from home, thank you for enduring the missed family dinners, the unanswered text messages, and our tired silences after long days. You loved us when we doubted ourselves and gave us a home to return to when the world around us felt overwhelming. We love you, and today would not be possible without each and every one of you. Now to our professors, thank you for entertaining our endless questions and for pushing us to look beyond obvious answers by thinking more deeply about what the law demands. Our course outlines may describe you as course instructors, but to many of us, you have become the role models whose example will continue to shape the judgments we make and the lawyers we will become. So to all the professors our class has had the privilege of learning from, thank you. There is an old Chinese idiom known as 饮水思源 that means when you drink the water, remember to honor the source. So in the spirit of 饮水思源, I would like to thank Professor Chen Siyuan for building a mood program that gave a student like me, with no public speaking experience, a chance to discover my passion for oral advocacy, to compete internationally, and to be placed in teams of extraordinary people, one of whom eventually became my girlfriend. We are deeply grateful for your guidance and for the values you have instilled in us, values which we will continue to carry with us long after we leave this auditorium. The final person I would like to thank is my girlfriend Jie Ting for her kindness, grace, and love. Looking back, who would have thought that 2 group projects, 2 article assignments, and 2 moot competitions would not only shape my law school journey, but also bring us closer together. I love you and thank you for moving forward together with me. Thank you. The third and final part of our SMU story is where moving forward takes us from here. Graduating does not mean the hits are over. Different paths now await us in public service, private practice, or in fields we cannot yet imagine. We are also graduating to a world changing faster than any of us can fully predict, where technology and artificial intelligence are already reshaping the legal profession. But even as the world around us changes, the qualities that will keep us moving forward remain deeply human. That is, the resilience to push on even when the road ahead is uncertain, the humility to admit when we do not always know the answers, and the integrity to do what is right, even when no one else is watching. As Dean Lee and Mr. Abraham Verghese had mentioned in their speeches earlier, in our careers, there may be difficult moments ahead, and the road ahead may be uncertain, and moments when we doubt ourselves. But when those moments come, I hope we remember the same timeless spirit that has guided our class through the past 4 years. The first time we raised our hands in class and got the answer wrong anyway, we kept moving forward. When we stepped into our first legal internships, trying to find our place in a profession that once seemed so new and unfamiliar, we kept moving forward. And today, as we step across this stage and into the next chapter of our lives, we are once again moving forward. That is what the past 4 years have taught us. The road ahead will not always be easy. We will not always have the answers. But even then, I have faith that our class will continue to put one foot ahead of the other and keep moving forward. We did it before, and we will do it again. So with that, congratulations to the class of 2026. I hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Xavier. Graduates, as we set out on this new chapter in our lives, let's remember everyone who has supported us along the way, whether it was our friends in law school, standing by us through challenges, professors guiding and mentoring us, or our family and loved ones offering constant encouragement. Today is a day to celebrate and give thanks both for ourselves and for all of those who helped us reach this point. And with that, I am pleased to declare you graduates of SMU. Congratulations to the class of 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as our Dean and faculty take their leave. May we invite the Dean to lead the recessional. Dean, please.